Thank you.
Safety.
Welcome to the meeting until the 20th of July. And thank you all for coming. First item on the agenda is apologies for absence. No apologies, that's really positive, isn't it? Declarations for interest. Members have made all their declarations in the declaration, which is anything different, they'll surely say. Thank you. Minutes of the last meeting, are members content to agree them with the record?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Opposed, agreed. Those colleagues are definitely by Fran, all those in favour? Thank you. Which brings us on to budgets, appendix item A. Have we got any significant way considerations with those? We'll just go, just look for a brief second with them. We'll move on. John.
We seem to have lost the percentage column.
Where's that?
Well, normally it gives us a percentage of how much of the overall budget has been spent. Doesn't it? Or am I making that up?
Funds available.
Yeah, that's in cash terms, but also we usually have it in percentage terms as well.
It usually says that, I think it's the funds available column, John. I know what you're saying about percentages.
Well, that's the way you can quickly scan down to see everything is.
Yeah.
Good.
Deputy Town Clerk's going to ask a question, John.
Okay, all right.
Is that okay?
Yeah, fine.
I mean, I
know you're on help.
it is usually
Yeah.
out last.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a helpful guide.
On the bright side, we're still happening. That isn't the case for everybody, is it? So are we happy to agree to note those?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Completely.
Can you look at the light? So elephant.
Yeah, I can't. I get it. 5 forthcoming events. The Buckingham Springs events officer.
So Fringe started today with the nature trail in the park. The green spaces on Friday were amazing. They put all the animals really high up the tree. And they've already had quite a lot of people come in to get the photo. So that's great. So the picnic is on now at Bertie's Walk. And then there's a whole list, I won't go through all of them, of events that are taking place this week. So finishing with the fun day on Sunday. I hope you'll all be able to come on to it.
Members got any questions? John.
I have no questions. It's a great range of stuff.
Yeah.
And the theme really kind of obviously captured his imagination and they want to take part in it. So I think it was a really good choice of theme. Let's see what.
I think we'll propose that we record our thanks for the together of that list and our thanks to the partakers. I suppose that we do. Words there. Thank you. Which is 5.2 basketball. Receive a report again from the event coordinator, pretty much self-explanatory, I think. But
They put from this Monday through until the very end of August. And there's 2 sessions, one in Shanders Park for the younger children from 8 to 12, and then the older children in Bolton Park, run by Coach Jen again. So that's what's happening.
John.
He's got a swift transfer, hasn't he? From 6:30 to 6:45. He's got to go from Shandles to Bourne in 15 minutes. Just noting that.
It's the same as he's done every year, so I'm just making an assumption that he has his car in the car park.
Yeah.
I think it will be fine, John.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Not a lot of time.
He must know his own diary. I just think it's that we're putting those events on and we're doing our bit, aren't we, to help young people get through the summer and activities, so that's what we jointly wish to do. Obviously, if anybody is around when the event goes on, give us a report what they think would be wonderful. Thank you. Got 5.3 play days. This is got a long history of us fund that we all know. The budget is attached and the total cost per day attached. Is there anything significant we need to know?
The only thing to note is that the days, usually it's just on one day, if you noted in 2.3, usually on the same day each week. So say, for example, a Wednesday, but it does exclude some people who work and can't. And so that was the feedback from the parents. So we've staggered it.
Yeah,
Right.
good idea.
Just also to note, we've actually arranged themes as well. They weren't themed before, they were just play days. So that's, I think that's wonderful.
Members have any thoughts on this?
Good days.
I think it's excellent play days. Ravina and I attended the YC2 Family Fun Day at the rugby club yesterday, and they had some really good inflatables up there. So it might be an idea to speak to them to see who provided them, but because there was different things. It wasn't just bouncy castles.
Yeah.
It was axe throwing, with, not real axes, of course, but and then there was a bungee game
run,
thing,
yeah.
And they were
yeah.
really good, and the kids
They were
the
very
kids
good.
were really interacting with them. Yeah.
Can I just add that they're all like quite small in comparison to the other massive inflatables you get at events.
Yeah.
So they had a whole series of them lined up, and it was actually really good. It's the first time I've seen them kind of that sort of size and so many different activities.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I'll try and find out who they hired them from, if that helps.
Thank you. I suppose you did both go on them, didn't you? And
We have to go at axe throwing.
Yeah.
well, you obviously excellent. I expect.
Fran didn't realise she wasn't supposed to throw it at me.
Actually, you're on one of those wheels.
So the
Yeah.
problem was that I had the hats on, and when I tried to throw the axe, I was catching on the corner of
It's like a catapult everywhere, not ricochet.
not designed for axe throwing, obviously. Yes, for bow and arrow.
I think for explanation, they asked you to go, didn't they? Ropes, didn't they?
No, I just said, they requested. It wasn't too bad.
No, it was nice. It was really pleasant yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Members happy to note that report.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Skate Park Jam, which events officer is looking at. Is there anything significant in that different than we've done before?
The team Rubicon have come up with a few new ideas this year. But they said that to enhance it a little bit more, some more special guests and a coaching element. They'd like to put in a bit more for the newcomers, and also a crowd prize or a Buckingham Town Council prize, which I thought was quite nice. They'll provide it, but it means that it's not just them choosing this. That was their idea.
I'll reply to your email meeting next week.
Yeah. This is going to come into.
Thank you. Thank you. It's had a long history, and unfortunately, I think last year we got charged for putting on a young event for the youth.
To use the skate park.
To use the skate park, which came out of section 106, and everyone uses for children, so we ended up being charged for putting an event on for children. Well, we weren't going to comment on that until they do or don't bill us, but it did seem rather sad, didn't it? We spent more time discussing the bills than we did the positive outcomes of the actual event. Regrettable. Thank you for that report. 5.5, the report, everything's moving forward when we spoke about this, the Bandjam.
So, and it says we've got 6 bands already confirmed, and discussions with several others. everything else really is pretty much the same as the successful one last year, so we've gone with the same format, same sort of genres, use it.
Just for members' information, Deputy Town Clerk last year was the drawer on choosing all bands, and we had headphones on, and pretty like that's what's going on there, and it was quite interesting because we both turned to each other and said no at different times with the same things. So if we have excellent taste, or we know what band that's but look forward to it. It's something that we've all supported, and of course then we do always have the rubbish to pick up in the evening. Anybody makes themselves available close to the time, all the spots, great for you to see. Thank you for that. What did I write on?
It's recommended that members agree to cover the predicted overspend from
Quite right.
So sorry, I should explain that. So the base costs of everything has been up, and I put that in the increased column. So the costs of the stage, the lighting, the first aid, rubbish, all of the bits that we need, the security, that's without the bands, really have gone up around £800. So it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's likely that by the time the bands have got the last three, it will be a similar cost.
Members, John.
Yeah, obviously we're going to pay it, but I'm a little disappointed by the increase for the square and yeah, which I presume is the stage.
The stage, sound and lighting.
It's a significant increase. We're talking about 20%. It seems well in excess of inflation.
Deputy Town Clerk.
So I can say that Square in the Air have just bought an extensive amount of new equipment. We were in talks about it at the beginning of the year. So they will be delivering a more enhanced service than they have done on previous years because of the equipment they're now providing.
What?
Well, I'm very happy that we're paying for their business development, so it's fine. It's okay.
I think, John, we took a decision to use them because we were happier with the quality of the sound, and if the sound isn't good, all the other money is spent on advisory.
Surely we're paying for the service rather than the hire of the
They're
equipment.
providing an
So if we were to go back to using the equipment that they used last year, presumably that figure would come down. It's down to the quality of what they're doing. It's not a case of like subsidising them in any way. I'm like, we're paying for what they're supplying us.
Can I just ask for suppose we agree the recommendation, but put an amendment in that we bring Bob back. We note this for the preset meeting that these costs are rising, so that we can include it in future budget planning. Is that unreasonable? Don't bring it back, Councillor.
It's already on my to-do list and I am
So
aware
we
of
don't need to do that.
You don't need to do it by ordinance.
Thank
I
you.
will
Which case
fix
we'll
it for next year.
I did propose that we agree the recommendation. Is that seconded? Right. Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. Everyone was really quick then, which is positive, and thank you for the discussing it. This next item, which is the person's right to receive report from the deputy.
So when we had the Christmas lights last year, we were advised by the company who installs them that the lights that go down one side of the kind of high street, and people have come in like they were faded in comparison to the other side. Basically, the lights have reached the end of their useful life, and they only have a finite thing. So we were aware at the end of last year when they took them down that particular string of lights would not make it effectively for another year. So this is to replace those fading lights. I've only gone to the one company because I know that they are compatible with the ones we already have and they can interchange. Currently the lights we have don't interchange. The old set doesn't mix with the new set, so it makes things all quite complicated. So this will give us a running string of lights, regardless of what side of the road, all of the same type, all from the same one.
Members have any concerns on that?
Oh, go on, you haven't done it yet. I'm happy to propose.
Right, proposed and seconded, right, proposed by Beast and seconded by Fran. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Which brings us on to town centre planters. I think give the town clerk chance to take us through this and see it straight take through this, because there are some real considerations in this.
Yeah.
So this is quite an extensive report. We've had the opportunity to look at the overview of this is essentially we are struggling with our hanging baskets. With the increasing warmth that we have, we just can't keep them watered and healthy, and we are losing them hand over fist. So this is a suggestion of other ideas and how we can move forward. It's not about removing anything or taking any flowers away. It's about using a different product that potentially can make it through the hotter summers that we've got. And the suggestions are that consideration is made with your agreement, and we can bring it back. We're not looking at reducing the cost and spending any less money. We're just looking at trying to make it work. Would you like me to go through the report in detail as what we've got?
Members wish that, or members like myself recognise the logic of it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And members happy to propose and second the
There's
recommendation.
two.
Two recommendations, thank you.
So there's 1.1, asked to consider whether they would like the officers to explore alternative town centre planning options is one.
Members happy to do that. Proposed by Fran, seconded
Russell, I think.
Russell, I don't know. Seconded by Russell. All those in favour? Apologise.
And then 1.2, subject to members' agreement, officers would develop proposals and obtain quotations for future considerations.
Proposed and seconded. Proposed by Rabina, seconded by Andy. All those in favour? Thank you. Thank you for doing that as it was drafted in.
Can we thank the senior administrator for their very, very thorough work on this.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
proposed?
Yeah.
That's seconded.
Yeah.
Seconded by John. Proposed seconded by John. All those in favour? Thank you. I think you're absolutely right. We're struggling against the environment now, and we've got these hot summers and whatever.
Tactile.
Yeah, I put my hand up. I was going to say hanging cactus baskets for summer months.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll leave it for them to come back.
Brambles will bring all this in.
I'm sure that'll be noted. They are very drought resilient, I'll say. Thank you for that. Next item, it was the brief report on the pitch charges.
So historically, we have charged £30 for commercial and £18 for other. So if it's food and drink, we've charged £30. If it's jam, we've charged £18, and then voluntary community groups £12. We've had some issues, some real problems getting stores, especially for things like the community fair, and some charities just don't have the money to pay fees to do it. And we've also not been consistent. So, for example, Celebrate Buckingham Day, we've never charged. Lace Hill, again, slightly different. Some events have been £6, some have been £12. Some that the Fun Day, for example, has had no charge. So it's really just about balancing it up and trying to make it fair so that all the booking forms are the same. We send them out, people know, traders know how much we charge. So the suggestions are that we go with option 1.1, where all commercial, regardless of what you're selling, is £30. charity organisations are free unless they're offering a tombola or a raffle, or they're making money of some sort. So that would be for all events, but not for Lace Hill. Lace Hill we use to showcase a lot of the clubs that are there, and they're the people that tend to come along to the 3 days and so on. So Lace Hill we're suggesting £12 for everybody instead of 30, and the same £12 for charities and so on if they're making money or no charge. That's the suggestion.
Thank you very much, Paula. Lisa, you were first.
So celebrate Buckingham Day, would we then be charging a charity if they were doing a raffle?
Yes, if they were making a profit on the day, then yes.
Okay.
Any other members got any views? Okay, right.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
if charities or clubs or whatever are going there to try to boss their funds, which there isn't much of, we're inviting them to come along and try to showcase their organisation in some way. Then I think, yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Councillor.
Well, do you know off the top of your head how many of the people at Celebrate Buckingham are actually trading for profit, not free tombolas and awareness? How many are actually
Only 2 of the charity non-profit groups actually selling things. The rest were information and offering games, but not.
Thank you. I'll come back to.
Okay. Were we one of the 2 youth club? Yeah, I was going to say because we were, but because that would. So I've got an interest in this, not as a. No, I'm not getting anything out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm there as a volunteer. I'm not getting paid to do the event. So, but yeah, that would eat into what money was made then for the charity. So that's what I'm struggling with. I do agree with all food vendors and drink vendors being charged. Absolutely, I don't think they should be free anywhere. If they're making a profit, and they are, then we should be charging them. And I'm surprised that they haven't been charged all the time. That does surprise me. But for Celebrate Buckingham Day, because they're all charities, well, mostly all charities, that's what I struggle with.
I understand, and Claire, that we've talked it through and come up with this because it's. I mean, a trader, anyone, all commercial traders have been charged, always been charged, but different fees depending on what they're selling. So that's the change really for that. And for say like the community fair, they've always been charged the stores, the charity stores, and that was then again difficult to get people in. Last year, for the last few years, and so it's become less charities and more mixed with commercial traders because some charities just don't have that money to pay. So we do get 100%. I'm not sure that's a definite one.
Right.
I think 30 quid out of potential profit for somebody like a bar or a food vendor is as a percentage of what they're likely to actually take is a far smaller percentage than 12 quid might be out of what a stall or charity might collect. I know how much the British Legion stall actually collected in donations for the Poppy Appeal at Celebrate Buckingham Day, and they would have been in deficit.
But are they not a non-profit organisation?
They do, they were.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, what if we said, there will be a charge, but no more than 10% of profit you make? So 10% sounds reasonable. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, to me, £12 doesn't sound a lot, but then a small charity like the youth club, it could be, you know, if we, it's just a suggestion, say so 10% of what you make, that's what your charge will be. You might get some charities that make a lot of money on a day, I don't know.
That's just, I'll come back to town clerk, then I'll come back to Ravina.
That's going to be quite hard to
Monitor.
monitor. I would suggest the £12. I mean, it isn't, and it is only for people who are very much training. It's just about general awareness and fundraising. This is actually for people who are running a store.
Oh,
Ravina.
When you look at, say, for example, celebrate. Sorry, who are you?
Sorry.
so
You are a
Can we go to
employee of
the
the
chair,
youth club, aren't you?
Yeah, if you want to conversate across the table, we'll go to the
no,
chair.
it's just,
I'm just going to
Sorry,
Ravina.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll go to
Yeah.
Ravina. Ravina wants to speak, we'll come back. Okay, Ravina.
So, for example, celebrate Buckingham Day, the food and drink vendors, their prices are quite high. So £30 out of their profit is not very much. Is there any chance of perhaps increasing how much we charge food and drink vendors and reducing what we're charging charities?
All of them, Clark.
Sorry, I was just to say to Lizzie, are you the current employee of the youth club?
yeah, to celebrate Buckingham, we were volunteering on the day. It was that last comment that you made, though, that it's only not for those that are fundraising, but those that are trading.
Yeah.
We were fundraising, not trading. So,
Trading, tombolas, competitions, things like that.
yeah, we were fundraising, we weren't trading. So how does youth club would then fit into the fundraising and that, not as a trader? So then we wouldn't pay the £12.
If you're there to trade, then the suggestion is that you be considered to be trading. You're there. Here's 50p for a ticket, and you're selling and trading. If you've got a little jar on the side and people putting a couple of pence in or a couple of pound in or on the way past them, I would suggest that's not. Is this different from what's written down? Because my laptop's just gone on.
Because we are fundraising when we go there. That is all we're doing, is fundraising.
Okay, let's come back to Paula and work around again. Thank you.
Just to answer Ravina, when you said about the food traders, I agree that sometimes they come and they make an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
However, sometimes they come to our events and the footfall is low because of weather or other things, and then they don't make a lot. So I think, and we have a little bit of a reputation in Buckingham amongst traders that some events don't do as well, and we've cut down the number of traders that we have. And so, for example, if we had 5, although Celebrate Buckingham was really good, we'd have had 5, it may not have been worth it for 1 or 2 of those people. So I think if we increase the cost for the traders, for the commercial traders, then we would really struggle. It is very, very difficult to get traders. And you are always in competition in the summer with other events that are happening on that day.
Thank you. Down Clark.
So it's just to assist the town clerk, because I think a computer's gone down. So what it says is under charity non-profit organisations trading, for example, tombolas, membership fees, raffles, etc., £12 inclusive of VAT. So yes, what you said.
Right.
I would say that running tombolas, raffles, getting people to sign up, membership is not actually trading. I think that's actually
Fundraising.
Fundraising.
Yeah.
I would put that definition as being fundraising. And on the point of Ravina's about the food traders, etc., and their pitch fees, do we have an idea of how much other similar organisations charge as pitch fees for their events? Like Brackley Town Council, for example, or somewhere else like that, because some people do these things, and I think we probably need to gauge that. as to where we
But I've totally listen, before I come to the B now, are we in a position where we there may be proposal to amend the recommendation, or is the recommendation not in keeping with the aspirations of the community? I'm getting the feeling that there's concerns around the voluntary element and there's concerns around the trade element. Well, we have to respect the fact that there was a lot of work gone into trying to make this fair and trying to reflect where it is. No report can reflect one individual person's or individual people. Ravina.
Yeah, I just want to say that Fran has made the point that I was thinking of, that when I see a charity doing a tombola or whatever, I always think it's fundraising. It's not trading per se. It's not never for profits in that sense. And that's where I think there's a fine line, because you're doing these things to raise funds for your charity. No one's taking a share of that home with them personally.
Thank you. Can I mean, I'll ask through Paula, is this time for it to?
It is, because all of the, we've got lots of events coming up, and we've got events at Lace Hill, and we've got the dog show, for example, other events coming up. The other thing I have put on here is this is to be reviewed annually. So it could be that we see it as a trial year and see, you know, whatever decision is made, whether it's amended or whether if this is the recommendations are agreed, that we look at it as a trial and see. The other thing I would ask also to maybe think about is Lace Hill is a free venue for us. We own it. We don't have to pay. If we rent the large hall in the community centre, and then we don't charge people, then it does impact on our budget, and so that's a consideration as well.
I'll go to John and
I mean, I get the distinction between charities, non-profits, just, you know, giving out information or talking to people and so on, versus people that are taking money to tombolas, etc. But in the end, if we charge a charity or non-profit 12 quid is coming out of their charitable funds, and that's not a good look, in my view. I think, you know, we're providing scope and availability for lots of organisations to promote themselves, and they happen to make a bit of money for their charity, many of whom are fairly small charities. I think we should be helping them, not taking a cut. So I think we should be charging commercial rates, possibly a bit higher than 30 quid, but we'll just see how it goes. I hear what you're saying about, you know, putting people off it. I get that. But I think we shouldn't be charging charities and non-profits at all.
I'm going to go to Town Clerk, then I'm going to go to Lisa, and I'm going to make a proposal for this one and Sam.
I just had a question. I'm going to put Paul on the spot here. How much do we charge for the community fair? I understand we always charge charities at the community fair.
£12.
And that's been as far as
back as I can see, yeah.
Sorry to continue that.
Yeah, fine, it's good information.
The thought when we were talking about this was that you were bringing the other events into line with the community fair, which is always, as far as I'm aware, since I've been to the council, been a charged event for everybody, actually, for all the charities, whether they're to trading or in any way or not.
Before I take it, I'll just explain. The problem we've got, and the reason the report's drafted, is exactly what the report's trying to do, even out the inconsistencies in the way that we behave, which I think has been explained to all of Town Clerk. So with the inconsistency we change, we've got this problem where we're charging one lot of people one thing in one place, another lot of people in one place, and they're saying, well, why do I get charged here and you don't get charged there? So we're looking for a consistency in this, and that's where the report was drafted. And the report wasn't drafted from the point of view of raising revenue, it was drafted from the point of view of being consistent with people who use town council events such as charging. There is some logic behind the report, and we've just been advised it's time sensitive, so I'll take Lisa and Fran. And with that, you have to bear in mind that it is time sensitive. We've got events coming up, and we need to agree something, and we can't make a report on the hop. Lisa.
Thank you. Just to add to the one that we don't have to pay a higher fee for is Walton Park. So that's Lace Hill Walton Park, and I totally get where there's others where we have to hire a building. That's the ratepayers' money that we're spending to hire a building. And the other side of it, and this is why I struggle with it, is that Celebrate Buckingham Day, we have potentially all staff working that event. So that's a big cost on the council, and just something to consider, I suppose.
Right.
I think if we're not charging the same at Lace Hill, but as we are at other commercial events that we're other traders trading commercially at our other events, I think we're missing a bit of a trick there. I think if we're going to bring it into line, we bring it into line, and not have that difference between Lace Hill and any other venues, because actually the people who are there don't know that we don't have to pay, or we do have to pay, and whatever else. It's the staffing costs are still there. The cost of running and maintaining that facility is still there. So I think that if we are going to go with any of this, I would propose that we up the commercial fees and keep the commercial fees the same at Lace Hill and other venues, and don't charge charities at all. That'd be my proposal.
Is that the situation?
This, we have done that. So for the Lace Hill Fun Day, we lost a lot of people who said it's always been £6 or £12, because of footfall at Lace Hill is so much smaller than it is at, say, Celebrate Buckingham or the food fair here.
Yeah.
So commercial traders are much less likely to come to Lace Hill and pay £30 than they are to come to the food fair and pay £30, because they're just not, it's just not worth it for them. So that was the reasoning behind the small events.
Thank you. I'm going to make a proposal from the chair.
I think Andy seconded mine.
I second Fran's.
What was the proposal?
That will take out £12 for charity and non-profit organisations.
And bring the commercial into alignment at all venues.
Proposed by Fran, seconded by Andy.
Sorry, we have some clarity on that.
Yeah, I'm
not sure.
You're right. There's no clarity on that. So what you're
You
saying.
can take it as two separate things if you want.
Yeah.
So to bring the commercial into line at all venues, and not charge charities at all. But yeah, commercial into line at all venues is the first one.
Okay. I just say the town clerk before we move on over to the police then.
Just to completely clarify, so that would mean anybody going into the Lace Hill Christmas Fair or Winter Fair or the Easter event that was selling in Freddie would be looking to charge them £30 for a table of that.
Even though they haven't got footfall.
Just to clarify that it would be across the board, all of the Lace Hill events, any commercial trading would be £30.
Do you wish to, and before we vote on
In the
it?
food vans.
I'm meaning food vans basically, really.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Can I just explain? The reason for the report is to try and be fair. The reason the report is trying to recognise this disbalances between using a venue and not using a venue. What we're trying to do tonight is amend the report, which we haven't sat down and discussed and make a report on food. I think the proposer and the seconder, probably didn't gather the problem with the Lace Hill, which was explained briefly. So I think that we could. We've got everything, but we have to vote on it because it's done. So we have to vote on it. And Andy,
Can we just qualify this plan that we make it food vans since but that we charge £30 for lace, and everybody else £12, the same as the other commercial, because they do have the ability to make a lot more money, the food outlets.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's-
We're trying to make a report on the booth.
No, we're amending.
No,
We're down to
we're
amend.
going to do that. Yeah.
You. We've got a proposer and a second for them to make that.
Okay, I withdraw my original proposal, and what Andrew just said, the food vans, because that wasn't made clear in my original proposal. So food vans at any venue get charged.
Right, okay.
£80.
Okay, so that is what there is.
Yeah.
We'll move to the vote on that, and then we've had that vote sitting around for a little while, and it's only right that it's moved. Otherwise, we'll endanger trying to get another vote on something else, and we have to move that. Those in favour of that,
Point of order, I don't know what I'm voting on, Robin.
thank you, John.
What are we saying about food? Just specifically food vans, not food supplies, because people sell, homemade cookies and homemade muffins and so on inside Lace Hill. So we're not just saying food, we're saying food vans that roll up and sell
Yeah.
burgers and
Yeah,
and falafels and everything else like that.
And they are charged £30 at both venues.
So £30 for those,
Venue.
and we're saying,
it's just that at the moment.
okay, and we're saying £12 across all venues for other commercial
Traders, yeah.
providers, and £0 for all charities, including, that means that at the charity fair after the Christmas parade. Is that what we're saying? Is that what you're proposing?
Well,
I'm just not sure, so does that mean, someone like who's selling cakes and cookies will only be charged £12 at one at like Celebrate Buckingham? Because people who are trading like that often make as much profit as the,
Agreed.
yeah, so I think that's the danger that.
shall I give you a bit of information?
Yeah, we're just assuming that people that sell food, cooked food, are making more money. We have no evidence of that because they have gas supply, they may employ someone, and so on. So we can't actually be 100% sure when we vote that those are making more money than someone who is selling cakes.
We need to move this to the
Yeah.
vote.
I'm just- yeah,
And then
I
if
just
people
wanted to
are
make that
happy with
point.
that, we can then move back to the substantive motion. So those in favour of, let's hear it again, John wants.
So we're saying £30 for vans anywhere. We're saying £12 for any other commercial provider anywhere, and £0 for charities. That's what you're proposing. Yeah, Lisa and Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, Fred and Andy, sorry. Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't on this one because I can't vote on this one. Yeah.
Right, okay, is that clear? We know what we're voting on, all that, those in favour of that amendment with recommendation. Those against? So that falls.
Abstention.
Abstentions,
Abstention.
2 abstentions. Lisa and Rebecca. John,
Okay, I propose that for this year, we go with 4.1 as developed by Paula and others. And we evaluate it and then decide what to do next year. That would be my
I
proposal.
second them.
seconded by Tony. All those in favour of that? That's 5. All those against? And Lisa's abstaining. And
Oh, no, I'm not abstaining. I've got another point.
yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, yeah, so I agree that we revisit in 1 year just to find out. But in that time, can we find out what other places are charging?
Yeah.
Like Brackley or parts of Milton Keynes, which aren't central.
So that's a proposal
Yeah.
which needs a second.
Yeah,
Seconded by-
I'll second it.
Is that
I was going to make another point.
I think I can vote on this one.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
agreed? That's agreed.
Yeah. I seconded it.
What's the additional point?
My additional point was the reason I voted against that is because I don't believe that we should be charging the people who are running tombolas and raffles for charity because they had things donated to them in order to raffle them, and it is purely a fundraising exercise. It is not in any way selling anything.
Yeah.
But
That's the way.
I thank you. I think we've had a very long and discussion. I think the fact that we're going to bring this back anyway, the fact that Rubina and Fran put in that gambit in there, I think we've covered it all. And it's clearly more difficult than we would have imagined. So that's why I was saying it was time precious and whatever, and we've got to the conclusion. So with that, thank everyone involved in it.
Did we only vote on 4.11 or we voted on both?
We're quite right.
Yeah.
Right with 4.1. Right.
4.1 is both.
It's both.
Yeah, we voted on
Okay.
4.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 4.11.
Okay.
Of course.
So that's agreed.
Yeah.
So in which case, it was worth, Harry, we've now explored the whatever, and we've got to a settled position, which is how it works. Right. That was constructive, I think. Item 9, events review. Which is events coordinator. Thank you.
So celebrate Buckingham Day. It's a really successful day. The weather was great for us. And all the stallholders were very positive. Yes, just a good day all round.
It was good.
Yeah.
Members wish to record their thanks to everyone involved.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Proposed by Rubina, seconded by Lisa, all in favour? Thank you. It brings us on to 9.2, armed forces today. Again, a very brief synopsis of what happened.
So it was an extremely hot day. It was wonderful, the flag raising, the block there, we had the paper there, Frank gave a speech and Town Carers there, and it was lovely. It was really nice, both sets of desks were there and formed up whilst the speech was going on. It was a bit quieter than it would have liked in the town, but again, it was absolutely boiling. So the air cadets were going to use the exercise yard, but that was unbearable inside there as well. So they just came for flag raising, and when the army cadets had a little stall on the market. Both cadet leaders have said they would really like to be involved next year and do the demonstrations that they've planned. The Royal British Legion, they were really pleased. I did send an email around to send their thanks. They managed to recruit a few people, some of those veterans as well. It was nice to see the veterans that came along, met up and organised themselves to get together. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
So the recommendation is that we do it again next year.
We didn't actually take the recommendations on celebrate Buckingham Day at 1.1. And members happy to agree with recommendation at 1.1.
It was hot. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to propose that.
And that's seconded by Tina, right? In which case, are we happy to move on to what was proposed as a recommendation and celebrate? I'm not celebrating. Thank you. Which is at 1.1. John?
Can I just make a comment about the Armed Forces Day? I didn't like the separation between where the music was and the stalls were, and then the air cadets were somewhere near Boots or wherever they were positioned. I wasn't sure. I don't like that. If they're going to be, should all be somehow together.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I didn't like the fact that they were somewhere different.
All the name of Green.
So the army cadets were invited at the same time, so March time, and they came back 4 days before the event started to say, actually, we would actually like to be involved, although they haven't been up to that point. So we didn't really have any space for them. And they said, can you squeeze us on the market? And Russell said, yes, I can squeeze you on the market. But Russell wanted them where they were. That's where he wanted those market stalls, I think, to just spread out the market a little bit. So that's the reason that they wouldn't be there again. I totally agree with that. It was too far, but it was again, it was very last minute with the army cadets joining in.
I have seen that many.
Yeah, I just want to say it was really well organised. It was very unfortunate that the weather was so hot and therefore the turnout was a lot lower than we would have liked. So I really liked the band there. I thought they were great. I totally agree with John. The cadet stall was just out of sight, too far away. Even if they could have been, you know, like up the steps, just in the same area, it would have made a lot more sense and maybe attracted people. Because if you're walking along the high street, you wouldn't have seen them where they were. And also, one final point, unfortunately, the Morris dancers hijacked everything. The National Morris Dancing Tournament, which happened outside the King's Head. But they were brilliant. Loads of ladies and young people.
Just, it's no fault of those that organised it, but I felt that one of the things, the stall in front of us had big sheeting down because he was trying to protect himself. So actually everyone walking along couldn't see what was going on. So maybe next year we could recite, I know he likes to be there, but recite the stall.
Yeah.
So that everyone can see it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Exceptionally hot, there's a 37 degrees.
Can I say that I thoroughly enjoyed the Morris thing. And they went, no, I didn't. There's a restriction on my Morris dance. But they went on to dancing around the area and we didn't know they were coming. And we couldn't plan for that eventuality. But I think they turned up thinking that they were going to dance in front of the jail. And then they made their own space where they were. So they didn't anticipate us being there because there was whoever knew they were coming, which wasn't us, would have arrived them, and they were camping at the rugby club, I do believe. Toaster, or whatever. But so they were doing the circuit and they went on. But taking on board the comments, which were unavoidable with the stall, if they only let us know 4 days before, and the comments there, and we can't guarantee it's going to be 30 degrees every year, which is this event. And some years we'll probably have to have the sides up with the training, you never know. Are we happy to agree the recommendation at 1.1?
Yeah.
Have a proposal, please. Both by being and seconded by Andy. All those in favour? Thank you. I think that was useful. We learned, which I didn't know about the late booking of the schools, which my advice would ask about it. So we move on to the calendar of events. Members happy to know that.
Yeah.
Fran.
The fringe event, wildlife photography competition, cancelled.
So yes, so the flower farm, we're putting on the flower farm day and the wildlife photography competition. And she emailed last week to say that they'd had no entries at all. So she was going to cancel it. However, she has cancelled the flower farm fun day, but there have been now a handful of entries for the competition. So that is going to go ahead by, they're going to put that a display up in Manor Farm, in the Wild Cafe in the barn.
Okay.
So that came through this morning, but up till today, yes, should come.
Yeah, so the literature that went out about the photography competition was that entries had to be in by the 17th, and since this came out on the 15th, that doesn't quite tie in, does it?
Okay. Lisa, then I'll go back.
Thank you. Something that came out of the local democracy event was a careers fair for young people. I haven't seen it this year. We not doing it next year either.
It is.
It is there,
It's there, it's
Thursday,
October.
29th of October.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to that. Easy to miss these things.
easily. Thank you.
I miss things all the time. If anybody else was seeing that, I've really got that. Thank you. So with the comments from Fran on the thing, that we know those comments, I think it's been very hard in summer. I should imagine getting flowers to grow up there as in our gardens. So we're happy to know the report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we should receive 10 points in the calendar of events for 2027, Don.
Yeah, we had the last Good Endings Fair back in 25, I think. And we did agree at the time that we would host something a little bit different in 27. Something like, I don't know, well-being, aging well, something along that theme. So I'd like to propose that we find a space for that, and that maybe me and the Deputy Town Clerk can work something up to bring back to the next meeting of TC&E in, is it October? Next meeting? Yeah, October.
John, would you do, because not everyone would remember that, we do find it tomorrow what the well-being thing.
Well, I mean, Zoe and I talked about this lots. The Good Endings Fair brings together people involved in what we can loosely call the dying business. So people like funeral directors and people like lawyers, people like celebrants and so on, who get involved when people die. And the basic principle is people need to prepare for their own demise, or the demise of their loved ones, out of early and so on and so on. And it's worked well on the 2 occasions that we've done it, but maybe the footfall isn't as great as we would like it to be. People still seem to find talking about death very hard. It's almost like there's a belief that if you talk about it, you're going to die sooner. So I've seen people turn on their heels and then looked across the room and seen a coffin. So after the event, Zoe and I sat down, we talked about it. I mean, we talk about it a little bit more, but the idea was to have an event that kind of would morph into something more to do with well-being and living well and so on, be involved, I don't know, various other practitioners, not exclude people who are involved in some of those other matters, but widen the invitation, shall we say, to others and make it something about living well, we'll call it, I don't know, something like that. We haven't got a name yet.
So if I can just, if it's any help, I've just pulled up the Good Endings Fair report that came forward on the 2nd of June 25. And what the proposal was, the event is changed to a general health and wellbeing fair to take place every 2 years. This would include elements of the Good Endings Fair, but would also include holistic and alternative therapies, fitness, mental health, etc. This would have a broader reach in supporting local businesses and charities. The cost of the event could be considerably reduced by using Mason Sports and Community Centre. It would also offer the opportunity for some additional family activities being up there. The WI could still run their cafe from Mason. So that was the report that came through at the last one. So yes, it was a general.
Is that the recommendation?
No, that was a report. I was then going to go to the what was agreed.
Could you clarify what recommendation was agreed?
Yeah, I think that's key.
For some reason my computer's decided. Did you see the picture? It's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got to closer to that meeting yet.
Would members be happy that we park that a little minute while we get the information and return back to it, if that's all right?
Yeah, just one thing, just to add into what Zoe said. I mean, one option would be, yeah, Lace Hill is a good idea, but also, of course, by then we will have the new Swan Practice Health Centre opened on Lace Hill too, and there will be a community room in there. I'm not sure exactly how big yet, but there might be scope of doing something with them. perhaps maybe on 2 sites. I don't know how they work. They're not that far apart. They're a short walk. I mean, you can have maybe a race between.
After not filling the time to find a report.
I'm going to suggest that whatever the best way to move forward, obviously there's not the time to agree an event that members haven't had a chance to consider.
Yeah,
But to bring a report on it back to the next meeting.
Yeah,
that's what I'm suggesting.
It's an easy, straightforward proposal and something that we should do anyway.
and if the proposer happy that.
Yeah, that's my proposal.
And
Is that
it's
don't go away
saying
and
that
come back with a
we're
report.
going to
Yeah.
bring a report back, we don't need to work on it, and you can go in and help work on that.
Well, there's a procedural motion from the floor that we ask for a
Thank you,
report on
thank you.
this.
Right, is that seconded? I'll second. Order. Right, is that agreed, all those in favour?
Okay, fine.
That means that that'll come back, whatever, and that'll give us time to fit it in.
Yeah.
And we can't speak for the health centre and what they might do.
But in terms of
But it
agreeing,
would be nice if they were open.
true, but agreeing the calendar for next year, it has to have that caveat in that we might be inserting something else, a bit like we did this year with our forces day.
Right, we've had enough councillors talking about the health centre and if they built it, so we don't need any of us doing it. I think having seen it, or they would just like to see it, their success open, won't be all of us. Thank you, thank you for that, Town Clerk, and I think that's useful. Let's move on to item 11, action lists.
So these are completed then.
Yeah. Can you go through?
Yeah, of course.
Which
So,
ones need to be taken off, please?
David Attenborough has been contacted. I don't think he'll got back to us. We have thanked the face painter and her son. Councillors were asked to contact any veterans who wish to take part in armed forces. That's happened, and the letter of thanks has been written to the football club. On the agenda has already been discussed moving the fringe route forward. I believe there was a discussion at the previous meeting. I believe the event safety is coming in under confidential.
Yeah.
And then there's also been a discussion, and it took place, moving the Green and Crafts event to a weekday for the school holidays. That's already been on an agenda and discussed.
Thank you. So we really just have the action that we've just agreed, which needs to go on it to come back to the next committee. That's the only action pressing it. Members happy for those to be taken off?
Yeah.
Thank you. Just say things on a sheet, isn't it?
So it's about
Yeah, so it's news releases, well, we don't need to make any today. And chairman's announcement, very frankly for the constructive meeting tonight. And item 14, date the next meeting, 5th of October, which then we move into members give permission to move in recommendation scheduled trial of the Local Government Act 1972. The following item we like to close and move confidential. Is that agreed?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Lisa, seconded by Fran, all in favour? Thank you. And make sure the webcast gone down.